The invisible architecture of rest. Welcome. Pause for a moment. Right now, in this very second, your body is preparing for something extraordinary. Every single night, while you drift into sleep, your brain accomplishes what no technology can replicate. It consolidates memories, repairs cellular damage, processes emotions, and rebuilds the very foundation of who you are. Have you ever wondered why some nights feel like genuine rest, while others leave you exhausted even after 8 hours? The answer lies not in luck or genetics alone, but in understanding the invisible architecture that governs your sleep. Most of us treat sleep as something that simply happens to us. We collapse into bed after a long day, hoping for the best, and wake up either refreshed or frustrated. But sleep is not passive. Sleep is an active biological process, a symphony of chemical reactions and neural patterns orchestrated by systems so sophisticated that modern science is still uncovering their mysteries. The quality of your sleep depends on factors you can actually control, understand, and optimize. This is not about forcing yourself to sleep. This is about working with your biology rather than against it. Before we begin this journey into the science of rest, I invite you to subscribe to the Relaxing Science channel. Give this video a like and share with us your location and the time where you are right now. This helps us understand where our community is resting and connects us across the world in this shared experience of seeking better sleep. Throughout this exploration, we will uncover 5 foundational techniques based on neuroscience and biology that can transform your nights. We will discover how your body keeps time through an internal clock, so precise that it operates independent of external cues. We will understand how temperature shifts signal your brain that rest is approaching. We will explore how light, that invisible messenger, communicates directly with your nervous system in ways you have never considered. We will learn how to design your evening ritual to prepare your physiology for sleep. And we will examine supplements, posture, breathing, and the environmental factors that either support or sabotage your rest. The journey begins with a fundamental truth. Your body operates on rhythms that evolved over millions of years. These rhythms are not suggestions. They are biological imperatives written into your cells. When you work with these rhythms instead of against them, sleep becomes easier, deeper, and more restorative. When you ignore them, you create a constant friction between your intentions and your biology. This friction manifests as insomnia, fragmented sleep, early morning awakening, and that persistent exhaustion that no amount of time in bed can fix. Consider this. Your great-grandparents fell asleep under the stars. They woke with the sun. Their bodies synchronized perfectly with the rotation of the earth. Their sleep was deep because their biology had no reason to be confused or vigilant. Then came electricity, artificial light, screens, shift work, and the modern pace. In just a few generations, we have fundamentally disrupted the systems that govern rest. We have created a world where our eyes receive signals that it is still daytime at midnight, where our temperature stays artificially elevated through the night, where our stress hormones remain elevated long after the danger has passed. The good news is that these systems are not broken beyond repair. Your body still remembers how to sleep deeply. Every mechanism we will explore is still functional within you. You simply need to provide the right conditions, the right signals, and the right timing. This is where science becomes practical. This is where understanding becomes transformation. Sleep is not a luxury or a sign of laziness. Sleep is where the actual living happens. Every memory you cherish was consolidated during sleep. Every creative insight that surprised you was assembled while you rested. Every emotion you processed, every wound you healed, every decision you made with clarity and wisdom was supported by the quality of your sleep. When you improve your sleep, you improve every aspect of your life that follows. The techniques we will explore are not pharmaceutical interventions or extreme measures. They are gentle, sustainable, and aligned with how your body naturally wants to function. Some of these techniques will feel like simple shifts in habit. Others will feel like small environmental adjustments. Yet together, they create a comprehensive approach to sleep that is both scientifically grounded and practically accessible. You will not need to change everything at once. You will not need to purchase expensive equipment or follow rigid protocols. What you will do is understand your biology more deeply. You will learn to listen to the signals your body sends constantly. You will discover that poor sleep is not a personal failure, but often a sign that something in your environment or routine is misaligned with your physiology. And once you understand this, change becomes not a matter of willpower, but a matter of alignment. When you align your environment and habits with your biology, sleep improves naturally, sometimes dramatically. Throughout this experience, allow yourself to relax. Let your breathing slow naturally. There is no rush. The information we will explore is here for you to absorb at your own pace. Some concepts will resonate immediately. Others may take time to integrate. This is perfectly natural. Your brain is designed to absorb information gradually, to process it during sleep, and to integrate it into your understanding over time. So rest assured that even if you drift away during this exploration, your unconscious mind is listening and learning. The transformation of your sleep does not happen overnight. It happens gradually, night by night, as you implement these techniques and observe how your body responds. Some people notice improvements within days. Others take weeks to see the full effects. This variation is normal and expected. Your body has been operating under certain conditions for years or decades. It takes time to reset, to rebuild trust in a new rhythm, to remember how to sleep deeply. As we move forward, you will discover that sleep is not separate from the rest of your life. It is foundational to everything. Better sleep means better focus, better mood, better immune function, better metabolism, and better longevity. It means your relationships improve because you have more patience and presence. It means your work becomes more creative and efficient. It means your body heals faster and stays healthier. All of this flows from one simple improvement: learning to sleep better. The invisible architecture of rest is being revealed to you right now. You are about to understand the mechanisms that govern your sleep, the signals that your body sends, and the simple, powerful ways you can optimize them. This is not complicated. This is not difficult. This is simply information that aligns with how your body naturally wants to function. Welcome to the science of deep, restorative sleep. Your body's ancient rhythm. Deep within your brain, in a region smaller than a grain of rice, lies the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This tiny structure is the master conductor of your entire biological orchestra. For millions of years, this region has been keeping time, synchronizing every system in your body to the rotation of the Earth. It is so fundamental to your survival that it developed before your cerebral cortex, before language, before complex thought. This ancient timekeeper cares nothing about your calendar or your alarm clock. It cares only about light. Your circadian rhythm is not something you have. It is something you are. It is a biological oscillation that runs on approximately a 24-hour cycle, though for most people it is slightly longer than exactly 24 hours. This is why humans are not perfectly synchronized to Earth's rotation without external cues. We have a built-in bias toward a longer day. This slight mismatch is why light exposure is so critical. Without light to reset your internal clock daily, you would gradually shift earlier or later until you were sleeping during daylight and awake at night. This actually happens to people in caves or in constant artificial light. Their circadian rhythm drifts, sometimes dramatically, until it becomes inverted relative to the outside world. The suprachiasmatic nucleus receives input from a special type of cell in your retina called intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells. These are not the cells that give you vision. They are different. They contain a pigment called melanopsin that is specifically sensitive to blue light in the wavelength range of approximately 480 nanometers. When blue light hits these cells, they send a signal directly to your suprachiasmatic nucleus. This signal tells your brain what time of day it is. In the morning, bright blue light from the sun signals that it is time to be awake. This triggers a cascade of neurochemical changes that prepare your body for activity. When morning light enters your eyes, it does not just tell your brain the time. It initiates a coordinated response throughout your body. Your core body temperature begins to rise. Your cortisol levels increase, giving you energy and alertness. Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure rises, your pupils dilate, your digestive system activates. All of this happens within minutes of light exposure because your brain is interpreting light as a signal that the active part of your day has begun. This is not metaphorical. This is a direct neurochemical response to a specific wavelength of light. Throughout the day, your circadian rhythm maintains what is called a temperature acrophase, a peak in your core body temperature. This peak typically occurs in the late afternoon, around 4 or 5 in the evening for most people. This is why many people feel most alert and energetic in the late afternoon. Your body temperature is at its highest. Your cortisol, while elevated all day, is beginning to decline. You feel capable and focused. This is the window of your day when your biology says you should be most productive. As evening approaches, something remarkable begins to happen. The light changes. The sun moves lower on the horizon. The wavelength composition of light shifts from blue-enriched to more orange and red. Your photoreceptors detect this change. Your suprachiasmatic nucleus interprets this shift as a signal that evening is approaching. Your body begins to shift gears. Cortisol production slows. Body temperature begins to decline. And in the pineal gland, deep in the center of your brain, the production of melatonin begins to increase. This hormone is the chemical signature of night. It is what tells your body that sleep is approaching. The circadian rhythm is not just about sleep and waking. It governs the timing of almost every biological process. Your immune function follows a circadian pattern. Your hormone production follows a circadian pattern. Your body's ability to digest food, to repair itself, to consolidate memories, all of these follow circadian patterns. This is why eating at unusual times disrupts your sleep. This is why shift work is so harmful. This is why jet lag feels so devastating. You are not just tired, you are out of sync. Your entire body is trying to do nighttime things at daytime and daytime things at nighttime. Modern life has created a profound mismatch between our circadian rhythm and our actual schedule. We wake up before dawn in the winter months. We spend the entire day under artificial light that does not contain the full spectrum of natural sunlight. We work indoors under fluorescent or LED lights that lack the blue wavelengths that keep our circadian rhythm synchronized. Then in the evening, we expose ourselves to screens that emit intense blue light, which our brain interprets as a signal that it is still the middle of the day. We go to bed while our body still thinks it is afternoon. We wonder why we cannot fall asleep. This mismatch is not a personal failing. It is a predictable consequence of the environment we have created. Your body is not broken. Your body is responding perfectly to the signals it is receiving. If you expose yourself to bright blue light in the evening, your body will interpret this as a signal that it is daytime. Your circadian rhythm will delay. Your melatonin production will be suppressed. Your core body temperature will remain elevated. You will not feel sleepy. When you finally do fall asleep, your sleep will be lighter and more fragmented because your body was still receiving mixed signals. The solution is not to fight against your circadian rhythm. The solution is to understand it and work with it. Your body wants to be synchronized. It is designed to be synchronized. It is actually easier to align with your circadian rhythm than to fight against it. But this requires understanding what signals matter and when they matter. Morning light matters intensely. Evening light matters intensely. The light you receive in the middle of the day matters less for circadian synchronization, but still affects your overall light exposure. Nighttime darkness matters profoundly. These are not suggestions for optimization. These are fundamental biological requirements for proper circadian function. The timing of your circadian rhythm is also partially determined by genetics. Some people are naturally earlier risers, what we call morning chronotypes. Their suprachiasmatic nucleus naturally drifts toward an earlier time, so they wake up early and feel tired early. Others are naturally evening chronotypes. Their circadian rhythm drifts later, so they feel alert late into the evening and struggle to wake early. This is not laziness or a character flaw. This is a genuine biological difference. Some of this difference can be shifted through light exposure, but you cannot completely override your chronotype. Working with your natural chronotype is far more sustainable than fighting against it. Understanding your body's ancient rhythm is the foundation for everything that follows. When you know that your circadian rhythm exists, when you understand what signals control it, when you recognize that it governs your sleep quality, you begin to see your sleep problems differently. You stop blaming yourself. You start looking at your environment and your habits. You start asking whether your schedule aligns with your biology or fights against it. And when you make adjustments to align with your circadian rhythm, you will be amazed at how quickly your sleep improves. Your body has been trying to sleep well all along. It simply needed the right conditions to do so. The temperature gateway. There is a moment just before sleep when your body does something extraordinary. Your core body temperature drops. This is not a small fluctuation. This is a significant shift, typically a decrease of between 1 and 2 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature drop is one of the most reliable signals that your body sends that sleep is approaching. Without this temperature drop, sleep does not come easily. With a proper temperature drop, sleep arrives naturally, and sleep quality deepens dramatically. Understanding this mechanism is understanding one of the primary gateways to restorative sleep. Your core body temperature follows a circadian pattern. It is lowest in the early morning hours, around 3 or 4 in the morning. It rises gradually throughout the day, peaking in the late afternoon as we discussed. Then it begins to decline again in the evening. This is why you feel sleepy in the evening. Your body temperature is dropping. This is why you feel alert in the late afternoon. Your body temperature is near its peak. But here is where it becomes interesting. The rate of this temperature drop matters. The steeper the drop, the more powerful the signal to your body that sleep should begin. The mechanism behind this is elegant. Your body has multiple ways of regulating temperature. One of the most important ways is through vasodilation and vasoconstriction of blood vessels. When you are awake and active, your blood vessels constrict slightly, keeping heat close to your core. When sleep approaches, your blood vessels dilate. Blood flows to your extremities. Heat radiates away from your core into the environment. This is why you feel warm and drowsy as you drift off to sleep. Your hands and feet become warm. Your core temperature drops. Your body is preparing for rest. This mechanism has profound implications for how you should prepare for sleep. If your bedroom is too warm, your body cannot radiate heat effectively. Your core temperature cannot drop as much as it needs to. You will feel restless. You will have fragmented sleep. You will wake up multiple times. Conversely, if your bedroom is too cold, your body will shiver to generate heat. Your muscles will tense. You will not feel comfortable enough to sleep deeply. There is a sweet spot, and it is typically between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit, though individual preferences vary. But temperature control extends beyond just the ambient room temperature. Your bedding matters. Your sleepwear matters. Your pre-sleep routine matters. Some of the most effective sleep hacks involve manipulating your body temperature in strategic ways. For example, taking a warm bath or shower about 90 minutes before bed might seem counterintuitive, but it actually works beautifully. When you immerse yourself in warm water, your blood vessels dilate. Heat radiates from your core into the bath water. After you leave the bath, your body temperature drops more rapidly and more steeply than it would have otherwise. This enhanced temperature drop sends a powerful signal to your body that sleep is coming. Many people who implement a warm bath 90 minutes before bed report that they fall asleep more easily and sleep more deeply. The reason for the timing is important. If you take a warm bath right before bed, you are still too warm when you lie down. Your body temperature is still elevated. You will not feel sleepy yet, but if you wait 90 minutes, your body will have completed the initial cooling phase, and the rate of cooling will be highest right around bedtime. This is the window when your body is most receptive to sleep. The warm water essentially amplifies the natural temperature drop that would happen anyway, making the signal to sleep more pronounced. Another powerful tool is the use of cooling technology. Some people use cooling pads or cooling blankets that actively regulate the temperature of their bed. These are not necessary for most people, but they can be remarkably effective if you tend to sleep warm or if you live in a hot climate. The cooling pad maintains an optimal temperature throughout the night, ensuring that your body can radiate heat effectively and your core temperature can drop and stay low during sleep. The research on cooling beds shows consistent improvements in sleep quality, particularly for people with insomnia or who sleep warm. Your hands and feet are also critical for temperature regulation. These extremities have an enormous surface area relative to their mass, making them very efficient at radiating heat. This is why people who sleep with their feet outside the blankets often sleep better. Their feet can radiate heat freely. If your feet are too warm or too constrained, your core body temperature cannot drop as effectively. Some people find that sleeping with one foot outside the blanket or with socks that have an open toe design helps tremendously. The timing of temperature changes throughout your sleep cycle also matters. Sleep is not uniform. It cycles through different stages, and your body temperature changes differently during each stage. During light sleep and REM sleep, your body's ability to regulate temperature is impaired. You are more sensitive to ambient temperature. This is why you might wake up feeling too hot or too cold. During deep sleep, your temperature regulation is even more impaired. Your body is essentially allowing its temperature to drift with the environment. This is why maintaining a cool room is so critical throughout the night. You cannot rely on your body to self-regulate temperature during sleep. You need the environment to support this. The relationship between temperature and sleep quality is so strong that it is one of the most reliable interventions for improving sleep. People with insomnia who do nothing but improve their bedroom temperature and optimize their thermoregulation often see dramatic improvements. The reason is that temperature is not just one factor among many. Temperature is a primary signal to your body about whether conditions are right for sleep. When you get temperature right, everything else becomes easier. Your body can relax. Your nervous system can shift into parasympathetic mode. Sleep can arrive naturally. There is also an interesting interaction between temperature and circadian rhythm. Your circadian rhythm actually controls your body temperature. Your suprachiasmatic nucleus sends signals that cause your body temperature to rise and fall in its daily pattern. But this interaction is bidirectional. Temperature also affects your circadian rhythm. Exposure to cold can help reset your circadian rhythm. This is one reason why people who exercise or spend time in cool environments often sleep better. They are not just exercising, they are also manipulating their body temperature in ways that support circadian alignment. For people who live in hot climates or who naturally sleep warm, creating the right temperature conditions requires creativity. Some strategies include using moisture-wicking bedding, sleeping in minimal clothing, using fans, and ensuring good air circulation in the bedroom. Others use cooling pillows or pillowcases that are designed to dissipate heat. The key principle is the same. Enable your core body temperature to drop and stay low throughout the night. When you do this, sleep quality improves reliably and predictably. Light is a master controller. Light is not just something you see. Light is information. Light is a hormone. Light is the master signal that controls more of your biology than perhaps any other single factor. The light you are exposed to throughout the day, and especially the light you are exposed to in the evening, determines whether your body will be ready to sleep or whether it will be prepared for activity. Understanding light is understanding the most powerful tool you have for controlling your sleep. The photoreceptors in your eye that detect light for circadian purposes are different from the photoreceptors that give you vision. Your vision relies on rods and cones in the retina. These cells are distributed across the retina and send information to your visual cortex. But the circadian photoreceptors, the intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, are distributed differently. They are concentrated toward the center of the retina, particularly in the area called the macula. They are less sensitive than rods and cones, but they are exquisitely sensitive to specific wavelengths of light, particularly blue light. The sensitivity of these cells to blue light is not accidental. Blue light is the wavelength that is most abundant in natural sunlight during the day. By being specifically sensitive to blue light, these cells can distinguish between the blue-enriched light of daytime and the orange and red wavelengths that dominate at sunrise and sunset. This allows your brain to track the time of day with remarkable precision. In the morning, when the sun is low and the light is orange and red, these cells are only modestly stimulated. But as the sun rises and the light becomes blue-enriched, these cells are strongly stimulated. This strong stimulation tells your brain that it is daytime. This is why the time of morning light exposure matters so much. You might think that any light is the same, but it is not. The intensity of light matters. The wavelength composition matters. The timing matters. Morning light that is bright and blue-enriched sends the strongest possible signal to your circadian system. This is why morning sunlight is so much more effective at synchronizing your circadian rhythm than indoor artificial light. Natural sunlight contains the full spectrum of wavelengths and is much brighter than indoor light. A single hour of morning sunlight does more to synchronize your circadian rhythm than 8 hours of indoor artificial light. If you cannot get outside in the morning, or if you live in a location with limited daylight during winter months, you can use light therapy boxes. These devices emit light at specific intensities and wavelengths that mimic natural sunlight. A light therapy box used for 30 minutes to an hour in the morning can provide circadian benefits similar to natural sunlight, though they do not provide the full spectrum and intensity of actual sunlight. Still, they are remarkably effective for people who cannot access morning sunlight. The implications for your schedule are significant. If you want to sleep well at night, you need bright light exposure in the morning. This is not optional. This is not a nice to have. This is fundamental. Your circadian rhythm needs a strong morning signal. Without it, your rhythm will not synchronize properly. You will feel tired at the wrong times. You will have difficulty falling asleep. Your sleep will be fragmented. Getting bright light in the morning is one of the most powerful interventions you can do for your sleep. As the day progresses, the role of light changes. During the middle of the day, bright light helps maintain your circadian synchronization and also helps maintain your alertness and mood. This is why outdoor activities during the day are beneficial. But as evening approaches, light begins to work against sleep. The blue light that was so beneficial in the morning becomes a problem in the evening. This is because your photoreceptors do not know what time it is. They only know what wavelength of light they are receiving. If you are receiving bright blue light at 8 in the evening, your photoreceptors interpret this as a signal that it is the middle of the day. They send signals to your suprachiasmatic nucleus that delay your circadian rhythm and suppress melatonin production. This is the problem with screens in the evening. Your phone, your tablet, your computer, and your television all emit light with significant blue wavelengths. When you use these devices in the evening, you are essentially telling your brain that it is still daytime. This suppresses melatonin production. It delays your circadian rhythm. It makes it harder to fall asleep. And if you use screens right before bed, the effect is most pronounced. You lie down in darkness, but your brain is still receiving the neurochemical signals that it should be awake and alert. The solution is not to eliminate screens entirely, though that would be ideal. For most people, a more practical solution is to reduce blue light exposure in the evening. This can be done through several strategies. First, you can use blue light blocking glasses in the evening. These glasses have lenses that filter out blue light, allowing orange and red light to pass through. When you wear them while using screens, you reduce the circadian impact of the screen light. They are not perfect, but they are effective. Second, you can use software that reduces the blue light output of your devices. Most phones and computers now have built-in features like night shift or f.lux that warm the color temperature of the screen in the evening. These features work by shifting the light output toward orange and red wavelengths. They do not eliminate blue light, but they reduce it significantly. Third, and most powerfully, you can simply reduce your screen time in the evening. Many people find that stopping screen use 1 to 2 hours before bed, or at minimum 1 hour before bed, makes a dramatic difference in sleep quality. This gives your eyes a break from the blue light, but more importantly, it gives your brain time to wind down. Screens are not just sources of light, they are sources of stimulation. They engage your attention, they activate your nervous system. Removing this stimulation in the evening allows your nervous system to transition from sympathetic activation to parasympathetic rest. In the evening, you want your environment to be as dark as possible. This is when your body should be producing melatonin. Darkness is the signal that triggers melatonin production. If your bedroom is brightly lit, or if there is light from windows, or if there are lights from electronic devices, your body will not produce melatonin as effectively. You will not feel sleepy. You will not sleep as deeply. Complete darkness, or as close to it as possible, is ideal. This might mean blackout curtains, eye masks, or turning off light sources from devices. The role of light extends even to your sleep itself. If your bedroom receives light during the night, this can fragment your sleep. Even light that does not wake you consciously can affect your sleep architecture. Research shows that people who sleep in completely dark rooms have better sleep quality and deeper REM sleep than people who sleep in rooms with ambient light. This is why covering the lights on electronic devices, ensuring that windows do not let in external light, and using blackout curtains can improve sleep quality significantly. The evening wind-down protocol. Your evening is not separate from your sleep. Your evening is the preparation for your sleep. What you do in the hours before bed determines what happens when you lie down. This is not mystical. This is neurobiology. Your nervous system has two primary modes: sympathetic activation, which is the fight or flight response, and parasympathetic activation, which is the rest and digest response. During the day, you need sympathetic activation. You need focus, alertness, and the ability to respond to challenges. But as evening approaches, you need to shift into parasympathetic activation. This is when your nervous system can relax. This is when your body can prepare for sleep. The transition from sympathetic to parasympathetic activation does not happen automatically when the sun sets. It happens gradually, in response to a series of signals. Your body needs time to downshift. If you go from intense activity, bright light, and mental stimulation directly to bed, your nervous system will still be in sympathetic mode. Your heart rate will be elevated. Your cortisol will still be high. Your muscles will be tense. You will lie in bed feeling restless and alert, unable to sleep. This is why people who work intensely until bedtime often have insomnia. Their nervous system never got the signal that it was time to rest. The evening wind-down protocol is a deliberate sequence of actions designed to shift your nervous system from sympathetic to parasympathetic activation. It is not complicated. It does not require special equipment. It is simply a series of choices that signal to your body that the active part of your day is ending and that rest is approaching. The protocol typically begins about 2 to 3 hours before your target bedtime. This gives your body enough time to make the transition gradually. The first element of the evening wind-down is to reduce light intensity. As we discussed, bright light signals to your brain that it is daytime. Dimming the lights in your home signals that evening is approaching. This does not mean sitting in darkness. It means reducing the intensity of light. You might turn off overhead lights and use table lamps instead. You might lower the brightness of lights to about 30% of full intensity. This gentle reduction of light intensity begins the shift toward melatonin production without being so dark that you cannot see or function. The second element is to reduce blue light. This involves either using blue light blocking glasses, enabling the warm light settings on your devices, or simply avoiding screens. For many people, the easiest approach is to set a specific time when screens go off. You might decide that screens are off at 8 in the evening, regardless of what you are doing. This creates a clear boundary. Your brain knows that after 8, there will be no more screen stimulation. This allows your nervous system to begin its downshift. The third element is to reduce mental stimulation. Your brain needs time to transition from the thinking mode required for work or problem solving to the receptive, less active mode of sleep. This is why many people find that reading a physical book helps them sleep better than doing work on a computer. Reading a book is less cognitively demanding than work. It is less stimulating than screens. It allows your mind to become quieter. If you cannot read, you might listen to calming music, a podcast on a relaxing topic, or guided meditation. The key is that the activity should be engaging enough to prevent your mind from racing, but not so engaging that it activates your nervous system. The fourth element is to reduce sensory stimulation more broadly. This includes reducing noise, reducing visual clutter, and even reducing the intensity of physical activity. If you exercise in the evening, you should do so earlier rather than later. Intense exercise activates your sympathetic nervous system. Your heart rate increases. Your adrenaline rises. Your body temperature rises. These are the opposite of what you want as you approach bedtime. If you want to move your body in the evening, gentle activities like stretching, yoga, or walking are much better than intense exercise. The fifth element is to create a consistent routine. Your body loves predictability. When you do the same things in the same order at the same time every evening, your body begins to anticipate sleep. Your parasympathetic nervous system activates in response to the routine itself, even before you get into bed. This is why people who have a consistent evening routine often sleep much better than people who go to bed at random times doing different things. The routine becomes a cue that tells your body that sleep is approaching. A simple evening routine might look like this. At 7 in the evening, you finish eating. At 7:30, you turn off screens. At 7:45, you dim the lights throughout your home. At 8, you take a warm bath or shower. At 8:30, you do some gentle stretching or yoga. At 9, you begin preparing for bed. You brush your teeth, use the bathroom, and change into sleepwear. At 9:15, you get into bed and spend 15 minutes reading or listening to something calming. At 9:30, you turn off the light and begin your sleep. This routine is just an example. Your routine should fit your schedule and your preferences, but the structure is important. Each element signals to your body that the day is ending and that sleep is approaching. By the time you get into bed, your nervous system has had 90 minutes to shift from sympathetic to parasympathetic activation. Your body temperature has begun to drop. Your melatonin production has begun to increase. Your body is ready for sleep. One particularly powerful element of the evening wind down is the warm bath or shower. As we discussed, warm water causes vasodilation. Your body temperature rises temporarily, then drops more steeply as you cool down afterward. This enhanced temperature drop is a powerful signal for sleep. Additionally, the bath provides sensory relaxation. The warm water is soothing. It reduces muscle tension. It is a sensory experience that is distinctly different from the rest of your day. For many people, the bath becomes the psychological signal that sleep is approaching. It becomes the transition point between the day and the night. Another powerful element is breathing exercises. Slow, deep breathing activates the parasympathetic nervous system directly. When you breathe slowly, you send signals through your vagus nerve that tell your body it is safe to rest. Many people find that doing simple breathing exercises as part of their evening routine helps them transition into a calmer state. A common technique is to breathe in for a count of 4, hold for a count of 4, and breathe out for a count of 4. Doing this for 5 to 10 minutes creates a profound shift in nervous system activation. The consistency of the routine matters more than the specific activities. Your body is a creature of habit. It thrives on predictability. When you establish a consistent evening routine and follow it night after night, your body begins to anticipate sleep. Your parasympathetic nervous system activates automatically in response to the routine. You find yourself becoming drowsy at the same time every evening, even without trying. This is the power of habit and routine working with your physiology rather than against it. Darkness and melatonin's gentle rise. In the pineal gland, a small endocrine structure deep in the center of your brain, something extraordinary happens every evening. As darkness falls, as your body's temperature begins to drop, as light signals fade, your pineal gland begins to produce melatonin. This hormone is the chemical signature of night. It is what tells your body that sleep is appropriate. It is what allows your body to transition from wakefulness to sleep. Without melatonin, sleep does not come. With melatonin, sleep arrives naturally and progresses through its necessary stages. Melatonin is not unique to humans. It exists throughout the animal kingdom, even in plants. It is an ancient hormone, suggesting that the regulation of sleep and waking cycles is one of the most fundamental biological processes. In humans, melatonin production is controlled almost entirely by light. During the day, when your eyes are exposed to light, melatonin production is suppressed. Your pineal gland receives signals from your suprachiasmatic nucleus that it is daytime, and melatonin production remains low. This is why you do not feel sleepy during the day, even though you might have slept poorly the night before. The light is suppressing your melatonin, keeping you alert. As the sun sets and darkness falls, something changes. Your pineal gland receives the signal that daylight is fading. It begins to produce melatonin. This is not an instant process. It takes time. Melatonin production begins to rise about 2 hours before your usual bedtime. It continues to rise throughout the evening and into the first part of the night. It reaches its peak in the middle of the night, typically around 2 or 3 in the morning. Then it begins to decline. By the time you wake in the morning, melatonin levels are very low. This timing is important. If you want to fall asleep at 10 in the evening, your melatonin production should begin rising around 8 in the evening. But if your bedroom is brightly lit, or if you're exposed to bright blue light from screens, your melatonin production will be suppressed. It will not rise as much as it should. You will not feel sleepy. You will lie in bed trying to force yourself to sleep, but your body is not producing the hormone that signals sleep. No amount of willpower will change this. You need darkness for melatonin to rise properly. This is why complete darkness in your bedroom is so important. It is not just about comfort or preference, it is about physiology. When your bedroom is dark, your body produces melatonin effectively. When your bedroom has light, melatonin production is suppressed. This is true even for light that does not seem bright to you. Research shows that even dim light can suppress melatonin production. A light that is only 1% as bright as daylight can reduce melatonin production. This is because the photoreceptors that control melatonin production are extremely sensitive. They evolved to detect the faintest light, because even a small amount of light in a naturally dark environment signals that something has changed. For many people, achieving complete darkness requires some effort. If you live in a city with streetlights, or if your neighbors have bright lights, or if you have windows that face east and receive early morning light, you need to address these issues. Blackout curtains are often the most effective solution. They are heavy curtains designed to block light completely. They are not expensive, and they can make a dramatic difference in sleep quality. Some people also use eye masks, though these are less effective than blackout curtains, because they do not address the light in your entire bedroom. It is also important to address light from electronic devices. Many devices have indicator lights or displays that emit light continuously. Your alarm clock might have a bright display. Your router might have indicator lights. Your television might have a light that shows it is in standby mode. These seem like small things, but they can suppress melatonin production. You can address this by covering these lights with tape or by moving the devices out of your direct line of sight. The quality of darkness matters as much as the quantity. Different wavelengths of light suppress melatonin to different degrees. Blue light is the most suppressive because it is the wavelength that the photoreceptors that control melatonin are most sensitive to. Red light is much less suppressive. This is why some sleep experts recommend using red light in the bedroom if you need light for some reason. Red light does not suppress melatonin as much as white or blue light. If you need to get up in the night and do not want to turn on bright lights, a red light is much better than a white light. The relationship between darkness and melatonin production is so strong that it is one of the most reliable ways to improve sleep. People with insomnia who do nothing but ensure that their bedroom is completely dark often see dramatic improvements in sleep quality. The reason is simple. Darkness allows melatonin to rise. Melatonin allows sleep to occur. When you remove the barrier to melatonin production, sleep improves naturally. There is also an interesting relationship between melatonin and circadian rhythm. Melatonin is not just a hormone that causes sleep. It is also a signal of time. The rise in melatonin tells your body that it is night. This information is used by your circadian system to maintain proper timing. When melatonin rises at the right time, it reinforces your circadian rhythm. When melatonin is suppressed or delayed, it can disrupt your circadian rhythm. This is one reason why getting darkness in the evening is so important. You are not just enabling melatonin production, you are also maintaining proper circadian synchronization. For people who travel across time zones or who work night shifts, melatonin supplementation can be helpful. Taking melatonin at the right time can help reset your circadian rhythm to a new schedule. But for most people, the best approach is to optimize the conditions for your body's natural melatonin production. This means bright light in the morning, exposure to light during the day, and complete darkness in the evening. When you provide these conditions, your body produces melatonin naturally and at the right times. Your sleep improves. Your circadian rhythm remains synchronized. Your body functions optimally. The poetic aspect of melatonin is that it is produced in response to the most fundamental signal in nature, the setting of the sun. For millions of years, organisms have used darkness as a signal that it is time to rest. Your body still responds to this ancient signal, When you provide darkness, your body produces melatonin. When you provide melatonin, sleep comes. This is not a modern discovery or a pharmaceutical innovation. This is an ancient biological truth that your body has been expressing since before humans existed. By honoring this truth, by providing the darkness that enables melatonin production, you are working with your deepest biology. You are allowing your body to do what it has evolved to do for millions of years. The sleep position revolution. The position in which you sleep is not trivial. It is not something you should simply accept as whatever feels comfortable in the moment. Your sleep position affects your breathing, your spinal alignment, your circulation, your digestion, and your ability to access deep sleep. Some positions are far superior to others for sleep quality and for long-term health. Understanding sleep positions and finding your optimal position is one of the most underrated factors in sleep optimization. There are 3 primary sleep positions: back sleeping, side sleeping, and stomach sleeping. Each has different implications for your physiology. Back sleeping, when done correctly, is often considered the most neutral position. When you sleep on your back, your spine is in a relatively neutral alignment. Your head, neck, and spine are roughly in a straight line. This is mechanically favorable. Your breathing is not compromised. Your circulation is not impeded. Your organs have freedom to function. For these reasons, back sleeping is often recommended by sleep specialists and orthopedic doctors. However, back sleeping has one significant drawback. When you sleep on your back, your tongue can relax back into your throat. This can partially obstruct your airway. For people who snore or who have sleep apnea, back sleeping can exacerbate these problems. If you sleep on your back and do not snore or have breathing issues, this is not a concern. But if you do have these issues, back sleeping might not be the best choice for you. Additionally, some people simply do not feel comfortable sleeping on their back. They feel exposed or vulnerable. Comfort matters. If a position is uncomfortable, you will not sleep well in it, regardless of its theoretical benefits. Side sleeping is the most common sleep position, and for many people, it is the most beneficial. When you sleep on your side, your spine is supported. Your airway is less likely to be obstructed. Your breathing is generally better. Side sleeping is particularly beneficial for people who snore or who have mild sleep apnea, because it reduces airway obstruction. Side sleeping is also beneficial for digestion. Your stomach and intestines are positioned in a way that supports healthy digestive function. For these reasons, side sleeping is often recommended, particularly for people with breathing issues or digestive concerns. However, side sleeping can be problematic if not done correctly. If you sleep on your side with your shoulder rolled forward, you can compress your shoulder joint. Over time, this can lead to shoulder pain or dysfunction. If you sleep with your head unsupported or with inadequate pillow support, your cervical spine can be misaligned, leading to neck pain. To sleep well on your side, you need proper pillow support. Your pillow should be thick enough that your head is in a neutral position, not tilted down toward your shoulder. Your pillow should also support your neck. Some people use a pillow that has a contour designed to support the neck specifically. Additionally, you might place a pillow between your knees. This supports your hip alignment and reduces stress on your lower back. Stomach sleeping is generally considered the least favorable position. When you sleep on your stomach, your neck must be rotated to the side so you can breathe. This rotation stresses your cervical spine. Your spinal alignment is compromised. Your organs are compressed. Your breathing might be restricted. For these reasons, sleep specialists generally recommend against stomach sleeping. However, some people naturally prefer stomach sleeping and do not experience problems from it. If this is you, do not force yourself into a different position, but if you have neck pain or back pain, switching from stomach sleeping to side or back sleeping might help. Beyond the primary position, the details of how you sleep matter. Your pillow height is critical. If your pillow is too high, your neck is extended, stressing your cervical spine. If your pillow is too low, your neck is flexed, also stressing your spine. Your pillow should be just high enough that your head is in a neutral position. This varies depending on your sleep position and your body shape. A person who sleeps on their side typically needs a thicker pillow than a person who sleeps on their back. The firmness of your pillow also matters. A pillow that is too soft will not provide adequate support. Your head will sink too far, misaligning your spine. A pillow that is too firm will be uncomfortable and might cause pressure points. Your pillow should be firm enough to support your head and neck, but soft enough to be comfortable. Many people find that a memory foam pillow or a pillow filled with buckwheat hulls provides good support and comfort. Your mattress is equally important. A mattress that is too soft will allow your body to sink, misaligning your spine. A mattress that is too firm will create pressure points and might prevent your body from relaxing. Your mattress should provide enough support to keep your spine in neutral alignment while being soft enough to be comfortable. This is a balance, and the right firmness varies from person to person. Some people prefer firmer mattresses, others prefer softer mattresses. The key is finding the balance that keeps your spine aligned while allowing your body to relax. For people with specific issues, specialized pillows or positioning aids can help. People with neck pain might benefit from a contoured pillow designed to support the cervical spine. People with back pain might benefit from a pillow between the knees when side sleeping, or a pillow under the knees when back sleeping. This pillow placement reduces stress on the lower back. People with shoulder pain might benefit from a pillow that provides specific shoulder support, or they might benefit from side sleeping on the opposite side. The position you sleep in also interacts with your circadian rhythm and your sleep stages. During REM sleep, your muscle tone decreases. You are more likely to roll into different positions. During deep sleep, you might be less able to adjust your position if it becomes uncomfortable. This is why having good pillow and mattress support is important. You cannot rely on yourself to maintain good alignment during sleep. Your environment must support good alignment. Over time, your sleep position affects your body structure and function. People who sleep on one side for years might develop asymmetrical muscle development. People who sleep in positions that misalign their spine might develop chronic pain. For these reasons, it is worth investing time in finding your optimal sleep position and supporting it with proper pillows and mattress. This is not a luxury. This is a health investment that pays dividends night after night. If you want to change your sleep position, do so gradually. If you have always slept on your stomach and want to switch to side sleeping, do not expect the change to feel natural immediately. Your body has adapted to stomach sleeping. Your muscles are configured for it. Changing positions requires time for your body to adapt. You might try side sleeping for part of the night and stomach sleeping for part of the night. Gradually, you can transition more towards side sleeping. Over a few weeks, your body will adapt and side sleeping will begin to feel more natural. Breathe as a bridge to sleep. Your breath is always with you. It is the one physiological process that you can control consciously, but that also operates unconsciously. This unique property makes breathing the most accessible tool for influencing your nervous system. When you breathe slowly and deeply, you send direct signals to your nervous system that it is safe to rest. When you breathe rapidly and shallowly, you send signals that you are stressed or in danger. By controlling your breath, you can control your nervous system activation. This is not mystical, this is neurobiology. The mechanism behind this is the vagus nerve. This is the longest nerve in your body, running from your brain down through your torso. One of its primary functions is to regulate your parasympathetic nervous system. When you activate your vagus nerve, your parasympathetic nervous system activates. Your heart rate decreases. Your blood pressure decreases. Your stress hormones decrease. Your digestive system activates. Your body shifts into a state of rest and recovery. This is exactly the state you want to be in as you approach sleep. One of the most direct ways to activate your vagus nerve is through slow, deep breathing. When you breathe slowly, particularly when you extend your exhale longer than your inhale, you send signals through your vagus nerve that activate parasympathetic function. This is why breathing exercises are so effective for reducing anxiety and promoting relaxation. You are not just calming your mind, you are activating your parasympathetic nervous system through a direct neurological pathway. A simple breathing technique that many people find effective is the 4-4-4 breath. You breathe in through your nose for a count of 4, hold your breath for a count of 4, and exhale through your mouth for a count of 4. If this feels too long initially, you can start with 3-3-3 or 2-2-2 and gradually increase. The key is that your exhale should be at least as long as your inhale, and ideally longer. An exhale that is longer than your inhale is particularly effective at activating parasympathetic function. Another effective technique is the 4-7-8 breath, popularized by sleep researcher Andrew Weil. You breathe in through your nose for a count of 4, hold for a count of 7, and exhale through your mouth for a count of 8. The long exhale is particularly powerful for activating parasympathetic function. Many people find that doing this breath 10 to 20 times before bed helps them fall asleep more easily. The position of your body while you breathe also matters. If you are tense, if your shoulders are raised, if your chest is tight, your breathing will be shallow. You cannot breathe deeply if your body is tense. So before you begin breathing exercises, it is helpful to relax your body. You might do some gentle stretching. You might consciously relax your shoulders. You might place your hand on your belly and feel your breath moving. This body awareness helps you relax and also helps you ensure that you are breathing deeply into your belly rather than shallowly into your chest. Belly breathing, also called diaphragmatic breathing, is the most effective form of breathing for relaxation. When you breathe into your belly, your diaphragm, the large muscle below your lungs, moves down. This allows your lungs to expand fully. Your body receives more oxygen. Your breathing is more efficient. Additionally, movement of the diaphragm stimulates your vagus nerve. This is one reason why belly breathing is so effective. You are not just getting more oxygen. You are directly stimulating your parasympathetic nervous system. To practice belly breathing, place one hand on your chest and one hand on your belly. As you breathe in, try to keep your chest still and move your belly out. You should feel your belly hand moving out as you inhale. As you exhale, your belly should move back in. This might feel strange initially if you are used to chest breathing, but with practice, belly breathing becomes natural. Once you can belly breathe easily, combine it with slow breathing. Slow, deep belly breathing is one of the most powerful tools for activating your parasympathetic nervous system. The timing of breathing exercises matters. If you do breathing exercises during the day when you are stressed, they can help you calm down. If you do breathing exercises as part of your evening routine, they help prepare your nervous system for sleep. But the most powerful time to use breathing exercises is when you are in bed. Once you're lying down, once your environment is dark and quiet, breathing exercises can facilitate the transition from wakefulness to sleep. Many people find that doing 10 to 20 minutes of slow, deep breathing once they are in bed helps them fall asleep much more easily. There is also an interesting interaction between breathing and sleep stages. During REM sleep, your breathing becomes irregular. During deep sleep, your breathing becomes slower and more regular. During light sleep, your breathing is somewhere in between. By starting with slow, regular breathing as you lie in bed, you are essentially priming your body for the breathing patterns of sleep. You are preparing your body for the sleep state. This makes the transition from wakefulness to sleep easier and more natural. Some people use guided breathing meditations or recordings that guide them through breathing exercises. These can be helpful because they provide structure and guidance. You do not have to think about counting or timing. You simply follow the guide's voice. This can be particularly helpful if you have a racing mind. The external structure of a guided meditation can help quiet your thoughts and focus your attention on your breath. One important note: if you have any respiratory conditions, such as asthma or COPD, you should consult with your doctor before doing intensive breathing exercises. For most healthy people, breathing exercises are safe and beneficial. But for people with certain conditions, intense breathing might not be appropriate. Your doctor can advise you on what is safe for your specific situation. The beauty of using breath as a tool for sleep is that your breath is always available. You do not need equipment. You do not need a prescription. You do not need to go anywhere. Whenever you feel anxious or alert as you approach bedtime, you can simply pause and do some slow, deep breathing. Your nervous system will respond. Your body will begin to relax. Sleep will become easier. This simple tool, available to you always, is one of the most powerful ways to bridge from wakefulness to sleep. Supplements and nature's sleep allies. There are substances found in nature and available as supplements that support sleep. These are not drugs. They do not require a prescription. But they are also not magic. They work at the biochemical level to support the processes that enable sleep. Understanding which supplements have evidence behind them and how they work is important for anyone considering supplementation for sleep improvement. Magnesium is perhaps the most well-researched sleep supplement. This mineral is involved in hundreds of biochemical processes in your body. One of its primary roles is regulating your nervous system. Magnesium activates your parasympathetic nervous system. It reduces muscle tension. It helps regulate neurotransmitters involved in sleep. When your magnesium levels are low, your nervous system tends to be more activated. You feel more anxious and tense. You sleep more poorly. When your magnesium levels are adequate, your nervous system is more relaxed. You sleep more easily. Many people are magnesium deficient. The modern diet tends to be low in magnesium. Stress depletes magnesium. Caffeine increases magnesium excretion. As a result, many people benefit from magnesium supplementation. There are different forms of magnesium, and they have different effects. Magnesium glycinate is particularly effective for sleep because glycine itself has calming properties. Magnesium threonate crosses the blood-brain barrier more effectively, making it potentially useful for cognitive function. Magnesium malate and magnesium citrate are other forms that some people find helpful. A typical dose for sleep support is between 200 and 400 milligrams taken in the evening. Glycine is an amino acid that plays a direct role in sleep. It is one of the primary inhibitory neurotransmitters in your central nervous system. When glycine is released in your brain, it signals your neurons to be less active. This promotes relaxation and sleep. Glycine also affects your body temperature. It helps lower your core body temperature, which facilitates sleep onset. Research shows that glycine supplementation, typically 3 to 5 grams taken before bed, can improve sleep quality and help people fall asleep more quickly. L-theanine is an amino acid found in green tea. It promotes relaxation without sedation. Unlike some supplements, L-theanine does not make you drowsy. Instead, it reduces mental chatter and promotes a calm, focused state. This can be helpful in the evening because it allows your mind to quiet without making you so drowsy that you cannot function if needed. A typical dose is 50 to 200 milligrams. Some people take it in the afternoon or evening. Others find it helpful to take it with their coffee or tea to counteract the stimulating effects of caffeine while still getting the alertness benefits. GABA is a neurotransmitter that reduces nervous system activity. Some people take GABA supplements to promote relaxation and sleep. However, there is some debate about whether supplemental GABA crosses the blood-brain barrier effectively. The evidence is mixed. Some people report that GABA supplements help them sleep better. Others report no effect. If you are considering GABA, you might try it and observe whether it helps you personally. Individual responses vary. Valerian root is an herbal supplement that has been used for sleep for centuries. It contains compounds that interact with GABA receptors in your brain. Research shows that valerian can help some people fall asleep more easily and sleep more deeply. However, not everyone responds to valerian. Some people find it very effective. Others notice no effect. Additionally, valerian has a strong taste and smell that some people find unpleasant. It is available in capsule form to avoid the taste. A typical dose is 400 to 900 milligrams taken before bed. Passion flower is another herbal supplement used for sleep and anxiety. It appears to increase GABA levels in your brain. Some research suggests it is effective for anxiety-related sleep problems. Like valerian, individual responses vary. Some people find it very helpful. Others notice minimal effect. It is often combined with other herbs in sleep formulas. Chamomile is perhaps the most well-known sleep herb. It is gentle and generally safe. Many people drink chamomile tea in the evening. The warm liquid, the ritual of tea drinking, and the mild calming effects of chamomile all contribute to promoting sleep. While chamomile is not as potent as some other sleep supplements, it is a gentle option that many people find helpful. Melatonin supplementation is worth discussing separately because it is not a nutrient but a hormone. Taking melatonin supplements can be helpful for certain situations. If you are traveling across time zones and want to adjust your circadian rhythm quickly, melatonin taken at the appropriate time can help. If you work night shifts and need to sleep during the day, melatonin can help. If you are older and your body produces less melatonin naturally, melatonin supplementation might help. However, for people whose bodies produce adequate melatonin, supplementation is not necessarily helpful. Additionally, melatonin is not a sleeping pill. It does not force sleep. It simply promotes the conditions for sleep. If you take melatonin and your environment is bright or stimulating, melatonin will not make you sleep. When considering melatonin, dosage matters. Many commercial melatonin supplements contain doses that are higher than necessary. Effective doses are typically between 0.3 and 3 milligrams. Taking more than this does not necessarily make it more effective. In fact, very high doses might be less effective. Additionally, melatonin has a half-life of about an hour, meaning half of what you take is metabolized within an hour. For this reason, timing matters. You should take melatonin about 30 minutes to an hour before you want to sleep. One important consideration with any supplement is consistency. Most supplements do not work immediately. They work best when taken consistently over time. Your body needs time to adjust. Additionally, some supplements can lose effectiveness if you take them every night. Your body can develop tolerance. For this reason, some people use supplements in cycles. They might take magnesium every night, but use valerian or passion flower only 3 or 4 nights per week. Another important consideration is interaction with medications or other supplements. Some supplements can interact with medications. Before starting any supplement, particularly if you take medications, consult with your doctor or pharmacist. They can advise you on whether a supplement is safe for you and whether it might interact with anything you are taking. Finally, supplements are not a substitute for good sleep hygiene. If your bedroom is bright, if you are using screens before bed, if you are stressed, supplements will not fully compensate. Supplements work best as part of a comprehensive approach to sleep. You optimize your environment, your routine, your light exposure, and your stress management. Then, if you still want additional support, supplements can be helpful. But they are an addition to these foundational practices, not a replacement for them. The caffeine timeline. Caffeine is the most widely consumed psychoactive substance in the world. Billions of people rely on it to feel alert and focused. But caffeine is also one of the most significant barriers to good sleep. Understanding how caffeine works in your body, how long it persists, and how to time your caffeine consumption is critical for anyone who drinks coffee, tea, or other caffeinated beverages and wants to sleep well. Caffeine works by blocking adenosine receptors in your brain. Adenosine is a neurotransmitter that accumulates throughout the day. As adenosine builds up, you feel increasingly tired. This is called sleep pressure. The longer you are awake, the more adenosine accumulates and the stronger your sleep pressure becomes. This is why you feel tired at night. Caffeine blocks adenosine receptors, preventing adenosine from making you feel tired. This is why caffeine makes you feel alert and focused. You are not actually more alert. You are just not receiving the signal that you are tired. The half-life of caffeine is approximately 5 to 6 hours. This means that if you consume 100 milligrams of caffeine at noon, 50 milligrams will remain in your system at 5 in the evening. 25 milligrams will remain at 10 in the evening, and so on. Caffeine continues to be metabolized throughout the night. Even though the amount decreases, it continues to affect your sleep as long as any remains in your system. For sleep purposes, this means that consuming caffeine in the late afternoon or evening will disrupt your sleep. Even if you do not feel the caffeine, even if you do not feel alert, caffeine in your system will block adenosine receptors. This means your body will not build sleep pressure as effectively. You will not feel as tired when you get into bed. You will have difficulty falling asleep. Your sleep might be lighter and more fragmented. This happens even if you do not consciously feel the caffeine. The timing of your last caffeine consumption is critical. Most sleep experts recommend that you consume no caffeine after 2 in the afternoon. This gives your body about 4 to 6 hours to metabolize the caffeine before bedtime. For someone who goes to bed at 10 in the evening, consuming caffeine at 2 in the afternoon means that only a small amount of caffeine will remain when they go to bed. For someone who goes to bed at 9 in the evening, 2 in the afternoon might still be too late. The exact cutoff time depends on your individual sensitivity and your bedtime. Individual sensitivity to caffeine varies significantly. Some people are very sensitive to caffeine. A small amount affects them noticeably. Others are less sensitive. They can consume caffeine later in the day without obvious effects on sleep. This variation is partly genetic. It is partly determined by your liver's ability to metabolize caffeine. It is partly determined by your body weight. Smaller people tend to be more sensitive to caffeine because the same dose results in a higher concentration in their body. It is also partly determined by whether you consume caffeine regularly. Regular caffeine users develop some tolerance, meaning they are less affected by a given dose. If you are unsure about your caffeine sensitivity, you can experiment. Try consuming no caffeine afternoon for a week and observe your sleep. Then try consuming caffeine until 2 in the afternoon and observe your sleep. Then try consuming caffeine until 3 in the afternoon. By experimenting, you can determine your personal cutoff time. This cutoff time might be different from the general recommendations, and that is fine. What matters is what works for you. It is also important to consider the total amount of caffeine you consume. A typical cup of coffee contains about 95 milligrams of caffeine. A cup of black tea contains about 47 milligrams. A cup of green tea contains about 28 milligrams. A can of cola contains about 34 milligrams. Chocolate contains trace amounts. If you consume multiple caffeinated beverages throughout the day, the total amount can be significant. Someone who drinks 2 cups of coffee in the morning and a cup of tea at lunch is consuming over 200 milligrams of caffeine. This is a substantial amount. For people with sleep problems, reducing total caffeine consumption is often more effective than just changing the timing. Some people find that they sleep dramatically better when they reduce their daily caffeine intake from 300 milligrams to 100 milligrams, regardless of timing. Others find that they can consume more caffeine as long as they consume it earlier in the day. Again, individual variation is significant. One important consideration is that caffeine affects not just how long it takes you to fall asleep, but also your sleep quality. Even if you manage to fall asleep with caffeine in your system, your sleep is likely to be lighter and more fragmented. You will spend more time in light sleep and less time in deep sleep and REM sleep. You will wake up more during the night. You will wake up in the morning feeling less rested. This is why eliminating or reducing caffeine is often one of the most effective interventions for improving sleep quality. Another consideration is that caffeine withdrawal is real. If you have been consuming caffeine regularly and you abruptly stop, you will likely experience withdrawal symptoms. These can include headaches, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and irritability. These symptoms typically last a few days to a week. To minimize withdrawal, you can reduce caffeine gradually. Instead of quitting abruptly, you might reduce your consumption by 25% each week over a month. This gradual reduction allows your body to adjust without significant withdrawal symptoms. It is also worth noting that caffeine is not just in coffee and tea. It is in energy drinks, cola, some medications, and even some supplements. Some pain relievers contain caffeine. Some supplements contain caffeine. If you are trying to reduce or eliminate caffeine, you need to be aware of all sources. Reading labels is important. For people who love coffee or tea, the solution is not necessarily to eliminate caffeine entirely. It is to time your consumption appropriately. You can enjoy your coffee in the morning. You can enjoy a cup of tea in the early afternoon. But then you switch to decaffeinated beverages or no caffeine for the rest of the day. This allows you to enjoy caffeine while still supporting good sleep. Decaffeinated coffee and tea are viable options for afternoon and evening consumption. Decaffeinated coffee still contains about 2 to 5 milligrams of caffeine, so it is not completely caffeine-free. But the amount is small enough that it does not significantly disrupt sleep for most people. If you love the ritual of drinking coffee but do not want the caffeine, decaffeinated coffee is a good option. Movement and exercise's delayed gift. Physical activity during the day is one of the most powerful tools for improving sleep at night. This is not a small effect. People who exercise regularly sleep better, fall asleep more easily, sleep more deeply, and wake up more refreshed than people who do not exercise. But the relationship between exercise and sleep is not straightforward. The timing of exercise matters. The intensity matters. The type of exercise matters. Understanding these factors allows you to use exercise strategically to improve your sleep. The mechanism behind exercise improving sleep involves multiple pathways. First, exercise increases sleep pressure. When you exercise, you deplete energy stores in your muscles. You create a signal that your body needs to recover. This recovery happens during sleep. Your muscles need sleep to rebuild. Your nervous system needs sleep to recover. The more you deplete your body during the day, the stronger the signal that sleep is needed. This increased sleep pressure makes it easier to fall asleep and enables deeper sleep. Second, exercise affects your body temperature. When you exercise, your body temperature rises. After you stop exercising, your body temperature gradually decreases. This temperature decrease is similar to the temperature decrease that happens as you approach sleep naturally. By exercising during the day, you create a more pronounced temperature drop in the evening. This enhanced temperature drop facilitates sleep onset and improves sleep quality. Third, exercise affects your circadian rhythm. Regular exercise, particularly exercise in the morning or afternoon, helps synchronize your circadian rhythm. It reinforces the wake signal. It makes your body more alert during the day and more ready to sleep at night. People who exercise regularly have more robust circadian rhythms than people who do not exercise. Fourth, exercise reduces stress and anxiety. When you exercise, you release endorphins, which are natural mood-elevating chemicals. You reduce cortisol levels. You process stress and tension physically. This reduction in stress and anxiety makes it easier to relax in the evening and fall asleep. However, timing of exercise matters significantly. Intense exercise in the evening can be counterproductive. When you exercise intensely, your sympathetic nervous system is activated. Your heart rate increases, your adrenaline rises, your body temperature rises. Your nervous system is in an activated state. If you exercise intensely close to bedtime, you are activating your nervous system right when you are trying to shift it into parasympathetic mode. This makes it harder to fall asleep. For this reason, most sleep experts recommend that intense exercise be done at least 3 to 4 hours before bedtime. Morning exercise is ideal. Afternoon exercise is good, but evening exercise, particularly intense exercise, should be avoided if you have sleep problems. If you must exercise in the evening, do it earlier in the evening, at least 4 to 6 hours before bedtime, and do gentler exercise rather than intense exercise. Gentle movement in the evening is different from intense exercise. Gentle movement, such as stretching, yoga, or walking, does not activate your sympathetic nervous system. It does not raise your heart rate significantly. It does not raise your body temperature significantly. Instead, it promotes relaxation. It reduces muscle tension. It can actually help prepare your nervous system for sleep. For this reason, gentle evening movement is fine and can be beneficial. It is intense exercise that should be avoided in the evening. The type of exercise also matters. Aerobic exercise, such as running, cycling, or swimming, is very effective for improving sleep. Resistance training is also effective. But the most important thing is that you are moving your body regularly and with adequate intensity. You do not need to be an athlete. You do not need to exercise for hours. Even 30 minutes of moderate activity most days of the week provides significant sleep benefits. One interesting aspect of exercise is that the sleep benefits are delayed. You do not necessarily sleep better the night you exercise. Instead, the sleep benefits accumulate over time. If you exercise consistently, your sleep gradually improves over weeks and months. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. Someone who exercises moderately 3 days a week will sleep better than someone who exercises intensely once a week. The consistency creates the adaptation. Another interesting aspect is that exercise affects different stages of sleep differently. Aerobic exercise tends to increase REM sleep and deep sleep. Resistance training tends to increase deep sleep. So depending on your goals, different types of exercise might be more beneficial. But for most people, any regular exercise is beneficial for sleep. One important note: if you have been sedentary, you should not suddenly start intense exercise. This can actually disrupt your sleep in the short term, as your body adjusts to the new activity. Instead, start with moderate activity and gradually increase intensity over weeks. Your sleep will gradually improve as your body adapts. People with specific conditions should consult with their doctor before starting an exercise program. For most healthy people, exercise is safe and beneficial. But for people with certain cardiac conditions, orthopedic issues, or other health concerns, exercise should be cleared by a doctor and might need to be modified. The beauty of using exercise to improve sleep is that exercise benefits your entire body and mind, not just your sleep. Regular exercise improves cardiovascular health, mental health, mood, energy levels, and cognitive function. It reduces your risk of chronic diseases. It improves your quality of life in countless ways. And as a bonus, it also improves your sleep. So by exercising regularly, you are investing in your health comprehensively. Better sleep is just one of many benefits you will experience. The bedroom as a sleep sanctuary. Your bedroom is not just a place to sleep. It is your sleep sanctuary. It is the physical space where your body transitions from the activity of the day to the rest of sleep. The quality of this space has a direct impact on your sleep quality. A bedroom that is designed to support sleep will facilitate good sleep. A bedroom that is not designed well will sabotage your sleep, no matter how perfect your other habits are. The most critical aspect of your bedroom environment is darkness. As we discussed, darkness is necessary for melatonin production, but darkness is also important for sleep quality. Light during sleep, even light that does not wake you consciously, can disrupt your sleep architecture. It can reduce REM sleep and deep sleep. For this reason, your bedroom should be as dark as possible. This might mean blackout curtains, an eye mask, or moving light sources outside your bedroom. The goal is to achieve near complete darkness. Temperature is the second critical aspect. As we discussed, your bedroom should be cool, typically between 60 and 67 degrees Fahrenheit. This is cool enough to facilitate the core body temperature drop that signals sleep, but not so cold that you are uncomfortable. You might need to adjust your temperature based on your bedding and sleepwear. Some people use fans to circulate air and create a cooling effect. Others use air conditioning. The key is finding the temperature that allows your core body temperature to drop while keeping you comfortable. Air quality is another important factor. Your bedroom should have adequate ventilation. Stale air, high carbon dioxide levels, and poor air circulation can disrupt sleep. Opening a window to allow fresh air circulation is ideal. If you cannot open a window, an air purifier can help. Some research suggests that certain plants, such as snake plants or peace lilies, can help improve air quality, though the effect is modest. Sound is another critical factor. Your bedroom should be quiet or have only gentle, consistent sounds. Sudden loud noises can fragment sleep. Even sounds that do not fully wake you can disrupt sleep architecture. For this reason, addressing noise sources is important. You might use earplugs, white noise machines, or fans to mask disruptive sounds. Some people find that playing gentle music or nature sounds helps them sleep better. The key is that the sound should be consistent and not startling. Visual clutter is another factor that affects sleep. Your bedroom should be calm and organized. Visual clutter creates mental stimulation. It can make it harder to relax. For this reason, keeping your bedroom organized and minimizing visual stimulation is helpful. Your bedroom should be a place of simplicity and calm, not a place where you work or keep piles of belongings. The color of your bedroom also matters. Cool colors, such as blues and greens, are calming. Warm colors, such as reds and oranges, are stimulating. For a bedroom, cool muted colors are ideal. This does not mean your bedroom has to be boring, but the dominant colors should be calming rather than stimulating. Your bed itself is critical. Your mattress should be comfortable and supportive. Your pillows should provide adequate support without being uncomfortable. Your bedding should be soft and comfortable. You spend about a third of your life in bed. Investing in quality bedding is worthwhile. If your mattress is old or uncomfortable, replacing it might be one of the best investments you can make for your sleep. Your bedroom should be a place where you sleep and rest, not a place where you work or watch television. The association between your bedroom and sleep is important. When your brain associates your bedroom with sleep, you will naturally feel sleepy when you enter it. When your bedroom is associated with work or stimulation, your brain will not associate it with sleep. For this reason, It is best to avoid working or watching television in bed. Use your bed for sleep and intimacy, and use other rooms for other activities. The lighting in your bedroom during the day should be such that you can get bright light exposure without it being in your bedroom at night. You might want a window that provides natural light during the day but can be blocked with blackout curtains at night. Or you might want a bright lamp that you can turn off at night. The key is that you can get bright light exposure during the day without compromising the darkness you need at night. If you live in an environment where you cannot control noise or light, you might need to use tools like earplugs and eye masks. These are not ideal, but they are better than sleeping in a disruptive environment. Over time, you might be able to make changes to your living situation that improve your sleep environment. But in the meantime, using these tools can help. Some people benefit from a humidifier in their bedroom. If you live in a dry climate, or if you experience dry nasal passages at night, a humidifier can help. Maintaining adequate humidity, typically between 30 and 50%, supports respiratory health and can improve sleep comfort. Finally, your bedroom should be a place that you find pleasant and inviting. You should want to go to bed. This might mean having nice bedding, pleasant smells like lavender, or soft lighting that you use before sleep. The sensory experience of your bedroom should be pleasant. When you have created a sleep sanctuary that is dark, cool, quiet, organized, and pleasant, your body will naturally want to rest there. Sleep will come more easily. Sleep will be deeper and more restorative. Stress, cortisol, and the racing mind. Stress is one of the most powerful disruptors of sleep. When you are stressed, your body produces cortisol, a hormone that prepares you for action. Cortisol increases your heart rate, raises your blood pressure, increases your alertness, and suppresses digestion and immune function. These responses are useful when you face a genuine threat. But in modern life, you often experience stress that does not require a physical response. Work stress, relationship stress, financial stress, and other psychological stresses trigger the same cortisol response as physical threats. Your body is ready to fight or flee, but there is nothing to fight or flee from. This mismatch creates a state of chronic stress and elevated cortisol. Elevated cortisol directly interferes with sleep. High cortisol levels suppress melatonin production. They keep your nervous system in sympathetic activation. They prevent the relaxation necessary for sleep. This is why stressed people often have insomnia. Their cortisol levels are too high. Their nervous system is too activated. Their body is not producing the signals that sleep is appropriate. But the problem goes deeper. Poor sleep itself increases cortisol levels. When you sleep poorly, your body perceives this as a stressor. Cortisol increases. This elevated cortisol makes it harder to sleep the next night. A feedback loop develops. Poor sleep increases stress. Increased stress disrupts sleep. You end up in a cycle of poor sleep and elevated stress. Breaking this cycle requires addressing stress directly. This is not optional. You cannot optimize your sleep while ignoring stress. Stress management is a fundamental requirement for good sleep. There are many ways to manage stress. Some are active practices that you do deliberately. Others are lifestyle changes that reduce stress exposure. The most effective approach typically involves both. Active stress management practices include meditation, mindfulness, breathing exercises, progressive muscle relaxation, and yoga. These practices activate your parasympathetic nervous system. They reduce cortisol levels. They promote relaxation and calm. Even 15 to 30 minutes of practice can have significant effects. The key is consistency. Regular practice is more effective than occasional intense practice. Meditation can seem intimidating if you have never tried it, but meditation is simply the practice of focusing your attention and observing your thoughts without judgment. You do not need to clear your mind or achieve any special state. You simply sit, focus on your breath or a mantra, and when your mind wanders, you gently bring your attention back. This simple practice, done regularly, reduces stress and improves sleep. Mindfulness is similar to meditation, but is practiced throughout the day. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the current moment without judgment. Instead of worrying about the future or rehashing the past, you focus on what is happening right now. When you are eating, you focus on the taste and texture of the food. When you are walking, You focus on the sensation of your feet on the ground. This present moment awareness reduces stress and anxiety. Progressive muscle relaxation is a technique where you systematically tense and then relax different muscle groups. You start with your feet, tense the muscles for a few seconds, then relax them. You move up through your calves, thighs, abdomen, chest, arms, shoulders, and finally your face. This practice helps you recognize what tension feels like and helps you release it. Many people find that doing progressive muscle relaxation before bed helps them relax and fall asleep more easily. Yoga combines movement with breathing and mindfulness. Different styles of yoga have different intensities. Gentle, restorative yoga is particularly good for stress reduction and sleep. More intense yoga styles might be better done earlier in the day rather than close to bedtime. Beyond these active practices, lifestyle changes that reduce stress exposure are important. This might include setting boundaries at work, reducing your workload if possible, improving your relationships, addressing financial stress, or reducing your consumption of stressful news and media. Different people have different stresses. Identifying your primary sources of stress and addressing them is important. Another powerful stress reduction tool is social connection. Spending time with people you care about, talking to friends or family, and feeling connected reduces stress and improves sleep. Loneliness and isolation increase stress and disrupt sleep. For this reason, maintaining social connections is important for sleep health. Physical activity is also a powerful stress reducer. When you exercise, you process stress physically. You release endorphins. You reduce cortisol levels. Regular exercise is one of the most effective stress management tools available. Time in nature is another powerful stress reducer. Being outside, away from the stimulation and demands of daily life, naturally reduces stress. Even 15 to 30 minutes in a natural environment can have significant effects on stress levels and mood. Sleep itself is part of the solution. When you sleep well, your body processes stress more effectively. Memories of stressful events are consolidated in a way that reduces their emotional impact. Your nervous system recovers. Cortisol levels normalize. This is why sleep is so important for mental health and stress resilience. When you improve your sleep, you improve your ability to handle stress. When you manage your stress, you improve your sleep. Breaking the cycle of stress and poor sleep requires a multi-pronged approach. You manage stress actively through practices like meditation and exercise. You reduce stress exposure through lifestyle changes. You improve your sleep through the techniques we have discussed. And as your sleep improves and your stress decreases, the positive feedback loop begins. Better sleep reduces stress. Lower stress facilitates better sleep. You gradually move toward a state of greater calm and better sleep. Your personal sleep blueprint. Everything we have explored so far has been building toward this moment, creating your personal sleep blueprint. This is not a generic protocol that you force yourself into. This is a customized approach based on your unique biology, your lifestyle, your preferences, and your specific sleep challenges. The first step is to assess your current situation. What time do you naturally wake up without an alarm? What time do you naturally feel tired? What is your chronotype? Are you a morning person or an evening person? This is not something you should try to change. This is your natural rhythm. Working with it rather than against it is far more sustainable than fighting it. Next, assess your current sleep environment. Is your bedroom dark? Is it cool? Is it quiet? Are there sources of light or noise that disrupt your sleep? Addressing environmental issues is often the most impactful intervention. You cannot sleep well in a poor environment, no matter how good your habits are. Third, assess your current habits. What time do you typically go to bed? What time do you wake up? What is your evening routine? Do you use screens before bed? When do you exercise? When do you consume caffeine? When do you eat? These habits either support or sabotage your sleep. Understanding your current patterns is the first step to changing them. Fourth, assess your stress levels and your stress management practices. Do you have a regular stress management practice? Do you exercise regularly? Do you have adequate social connection? Are there significant sources of stress in your life that you can address? Stress management is foundational to good sleep. Fifth, assess your overall health. Do you have any health conditions that affect your sleep? Do you take medications that affect sleep? Do you have pain or discomfort that disrupts your sleep? Addressing medical issues is important and might require consultation with your doctor. Once you have assessed your current situation, you can begin making changes. But here is the key. Make 1 or 2 changes at a time. Do not try to transform everything at once. Make a change, live with it for 1 to 2 weeks, observe the effects on your sleep, and then make another change. This gradual approach is more sustainable and allows you to understand which changes have the biggest impact for you personally. Start with the changes that are likely to have the biggest impact and are easiest to implement. For most people, this includes: first, optimizing your bedroom environment. Make sure your bedroom is dark, cool, and quiet. This is often the single most impactful change. Do this first. Second, establishing a consistent sleep schedule. Go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps synchronize your circadian rhythm. This is one of the most powerful interventions. Third, getting bright light exposure in the morning. Make sure you get outside in the morning and expose yourself to bright light. This synchronizes your circadian rhythm and helps you feel alert during the day and tired at night. Fourth, reducing or eliminating caffeine. Stop consuming caffeine by mid-afternoon. This removes a major barrier to sleep for most people. Fifth, establishing an evening wind-down routine. Spend 1 to 2 hours before bed doing calming activities. Dim the lights. Stop using screens. This allows your nervous system to transition to parasympathetic mode. As you implement these foundational changes, your sleep will likely improve significantly. Once you have these in place and are sleeping reasonably well, you can consider additional optimizations. These might include optimizing your sleep position and investing in a good pillow and mattress, ensuring that your sleep position supports good spinal alignment, implementing a stress management practice. If you do not already have a regular meditation, yoga, or exercise practice, implementing one can have significant effects on sleep. Optimizing your exercise timing and intensity, making sure you are exercising regularly and that you are not exercising intensely too close to bedtime. Considering supplements. Once you have optimized your environment and habits, supplements like magnesium or glycine might provide additional benefit. Addressing specific sleep issues. If you have specific problems such as racing thoughts at bedtime, difficulty falling asleep, or frequent waking during the night, you can implement targeted strategies to address these. Throughout this process, it is important to remember that sleep improvement takes time. You will not see dramatic changes overnight. But with consistent implementation of these techniques, most people see significant improvements within 2 to 4 weeks. After 8 weeks of consistent practice, the improvements are typically dramatic. It is also important to be flexible. If a strategy is not working for you, try something different. Sleep is individual. What works for one person might not work for another. The goal is to find the combination of strategies that works for you. You are creating your personal sleep blueprint, not following someone else's blueprint. Finally, remember that sleep is a skill. Like any skill, it improves with practice. The more you practice good sleep habits, the better you become at sleeping. Your body adapts, your sleep deepens, your sleep quality improves. You are not broken, you are not defective. You simply need to practice the skills and provide the conditions that enable good sleep. I'd like to know, where are you listening from and what time is it there? Take a moment to share your location and local time. This helps us understand our global sleep community and the different time zones where people are finding rest. The transformation begins tonight. Here we are at the end of our journey together, though in truth this is just the beginning. Everything we have explored has been leading to this moment, the recognition that your sleep is not something that happens to you, but something you can actively cultivate and improve. The transformation you seek does not begin tomorrow or next week, it begins tonight. Tonight, when you prepare for sleep, you will do so with new understanding. You will understand that the light in your environment is not just illumination, it is information that controls your circadian rhythm. You will understand that the temperature of your room is not just comfort. It is a signal to your body about whether sleep is appropriate. You will understand that your evening routine is not just activity. It is preparation for the most important restorative process your body performs. You will understand that your breath is not just the movement of air. It is a direct line to your nervous system, a tool you can use to shift yourself toward rest. As you lie in bed tonight, you might notice your thoughts. This is natural. Your mind might review the day. It might anticipate tomorrow. This is not failure. This is simply what minds do. But now you understand that you can use your breath to calm these thoughts. You can use slow, deep breathing to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. You can signal to your body that you are safe, that rest is appropriate, that sleep can come. And sleep will come, not because you force it, not because you white-knuckle your way to unconsciousness, but because you have provided the conditions for it. You have provided darkness so your body can produce melatonin. You have provided cool temperature so your core body temperature can drop. You have provided quiet so your nervous system can relax. You have provided a consistent routine so your body knows what to expect. You have removed barriers like caffeine and bright light. You have done the work. Now your body can do what it evolved to do. Sleep will come naturally. And when sleep comes, something remarkable happens. Your brain begins its nightly work. It consolidates the memories of the day, deciding what is important and worth keeping and what can be discarded. It processes emotions, making sense of your experiences and integrating them into your understanding of yourself and the world. It clears metabolic waste that accumulated during the day. Waste that, if allowed to accumulate, would damage your brain and contribute to neurodegenerative disease. It rebuilds your muscles. It strengthens your immune system. It resets your hormones. It repairs your cardiovascular system. It does all of this while you rest, while you experience the peace and stillness of sleep. This is not a small thing. This is the foundation of your health. This is where your life is actually lived. Your waking hours are important, yes, but your sleeping hours are where your body rebuilds itself. Your sleeping hours are where your mind processes and integrates. Your sleeping hours are where healing happens. When you improve your sleep, you improve everything. The techniques we have explored are not complicated. They are not expensive. They do not require special equipment or extreme measures. They are simply the practices and conditions that align with your biology. They are what your body has been asking for all along. Your body has not been broken. It has been trying to sleep well. It has been sending you signals. Poor sleep is not a personal failure. It is simply a sign that something in your environment or habits is misaligned with your biology. By implementing these techniques, you are not forcing change. You are allowing change. You are creating the conditions for your body to do what it wants to do. You are working with your biology rather than against it. This is why these changes are so powerful. They are not fighting against your nature. They are honoring your nature. As you move forward from this moment, remember that perfection is not the goal. You do not need to implement every technique perfectly. You do not need to have the perfect bedroom temperature every night. You do not need to have a completely dark room every night. You do not need to have a perfect evening routine every night. What you need is consistency and general alignment. Get most things right most of the time and your sleep will improve dramatically. Also remember that sleep is not separate from the rest of your life. Your stress during the day affects your sleep at night. Your exercise during the day affects your sleep at night. Your food choices affect your sleep. Your relationships affect your sleep. Your sense of purpose and meaning affect your sleep. So while the techniques we have discussed are important, they are part of a larger picture. Taking care of your overall health and well-being is taking care of your sleep. Finally, remember that you are not alone in this journey. Billions of people struggle with sleep. Billions of people have experienced the frustration of lying awake, of waking unrefreshed, of feeling exhausted despite spending hours in bed. But billions of people have also experienced the transformation that comes from implementing these techniques. They have experienced the joy of falling asleep easily. They have experienced the deep restorative sleep that leaves them feeling truly rested. They have experienced the improvement in their mood, energy, focus, and health that comes from better sleep. You are joining a global community of people who are honoring sleep, who are taking sleep seriously, who are investing in their rest. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the science of sleep. Thank you for your time and attention. Thank you for opening yourself to these ideas. If this experience has brought you value, if you have found yourself more calm or more hopeful about your sleep, I would deeply appreciate a like and a subscription to Relaxing Science. Your support helps us continue creating content that brings calm and understanding to your life. Also, please share with us, how do you feel now? What resonates most with you from what we have explored? What change are you most excited to implement? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Your insights and experiences matter. They help us understand what helps our community most. And please return to this content when you need it. Return to these ideas when you are struggling. Return to this channel when you seek calm and understanding. We are here to support your journey toward better sleep and better health. Tonight, as you prepare for sleep, know that you are beginning a transformation toward deeper rest, a transformation toward better health, a transformation toward a life where sleep is not something you struggle with, but something you enjoy. This transformation begins tonight. Welcome to the science of deep, restorative sleep. Welcome to your better future. End of complete screenplay, total.